Hey, this is Jeff from Shedskin Reptiles. Welcome to Cold-Blooded 101. What we're going to do today is help out mom and dad in finding that family pet. And I'm talking about reptiles, those pets. And we're going to look into some lizards. Some lizards are very docile for you. And so Johnny and Mary can have their own little pet. And the first one we're going to talk about the bearded dragon. Probably one of the best lizards to have as a pet in the reptile world. We're talking a very docile, friendly lizard. We're talking about a lizard that'll sit on your shoulder all day in church and not go anywhere. You won't have anybody sit next to you, but that's part of the plan. These guys, unfortunately, are from the desert, and they feel like dad's sandpaper, so they're pretty cool, especially if you want to clean off your fingernails like that, just rubbing against your skin. But we're talking about from the desert, high heat, good ultraviolet light, and they're insect eaters, so there's going to be a lot of insects involved and some plant life when they get older, but a very good pet to have. Hey, now here for the bearded dragon, well, we have some products here that are just basic. We want to give you anything or have you buy anything that you don't need. But the basic stuff is startup, which is like your tank. Your light system is a very important thing. Three main things, just heat source, ultraviolet light, and calcium. Those are the main three things you have to have. Your sand for the substrate, and then your calcium. But your main thing is the light system and the calcium. Hey there, me again. This is the second type of lizard that would be good for Johnny or Mary. This is called a leopard gecko. Now, it's a simple lizard just like the bearded dragon, but the unfortunate thing is that he doesn't sit on your shoulder very well like this one would in church. Now, he's got a velvety type skin, not compared to the bearded dragon, which is sandpaper. This guy doesn't demand a lot of high heat. They're nocturnal, and they're still actually a good pet. For your leopard gecko, it's basically the same stuff as your bearded dragon, except the ultraviolet is not required. So you have to have your basic tank, your light system with your heat source, and your calcium, and with your substrate of sand. Hey, this is Jeff again with a third lizard. This is called a crested gecko, an unusual lizard. This guy is unusual because most lizards come with eyelids. This guy does not. Also nocturnal, comes out at nighttime. So if Johnny and Mary are up late at night, another good pal to have. Now he has a prehensile tail also uses to climb with, which kind of neat. Just don't tug on it too much because you could lose it and it won't grow back. Now this guy is also unusual because he's got little tiny hairs on his toes and he'll climb on anything, your face, the wall, your glasses. Another very good lizard to have as a pet. Now the crested gecko setup is a little bit different than your other lizards that we showed you there. Require a lot of heat. These guys are nocturnal, so they don't require as much heat, but you can have a little bit of heat with these guys. Crested gecko requires a tank that's all glass and a little high like this one right here. They can do a lot of climbing on. Also, your substrate has to deal with moisture. Any substrate that can hold moisture is better for your crested gecko. Calcium is also involved. And also, if you don't like feeding your crested gecko crickets, they've got this stuff made by Zoom Ed. It comes with any other company, but Zoom Ed makes your crested gecko food that you add water to, it becomes a pudding. Hey, this is another lizard here. This is called an Asian water monitor. Yes, the name says it all. It likes to be in water, plays in the bathtub. I don't recommend putting in your bubble bath with Johnny and Mary, but again, this is one of those good lizards to have. Now, this is the type of lizard that requires a lot of humidity, so you get yourself some type of reptifogger or drip system along with the big bath. And then it's going to require a lot of heat, in the 84, 87 degrees, and ultraviolet light, very important in his life, and calcium powder. All right, now we have the water dragon set up. Now the water dragon requires a lot of humidity. That's where the reptifogger comes in here and casts a lot of humidity inside it like a fog. That's why it's called a reptifogger. And then you got your tropical light system, also with your ultraviolet light and your heat source. But this is a lower radiated ultraviolet light. Calcium comes into play, the forest floor, bedding is another good one, and also your aquarium.
Cold-Blooded 101, Animal of the Week, the Uromastyc. This is a Mali Uromastyc. She's actually from Africa. This animal is a great lizard to have. Awesome tails. They are a desert animal, so you need high heat and a lot of UVB.
Hey, here's another one of your lizards here. This is called a chameleon, a veiled chameleon. Now, all chameleons change colors. This one changes a few colors based on its mood. So if you're into that and kind of moody, then there you go. Good colors, bright colors are good mood. Dark colors, bad mood. Also has an extension of a heck of a long tongue to get those insects that are far away. And the reason why it's called a veil is because it's got that big old pompadour veil on top of his head. Prehensile tail, all right? And it's arboreal, lives in the trees. Insectivore, and the requirement you're going to need for him is going to be about in the 80s in his basking area. It's got to be up high in the basking area. also needs ultraviolet light, and you need to mist these guys every day. That's how they drink their water. Another one of the cool little things about these guys is they have rotating eyes. They can see individual. They can see behind them and in front of them at exactly the same time. And they are awesome, awesome, awesome. Hey, Cold-Blooded 101. We're getting to more advanced lizards now, where their cages have to be cages like this, which are the screen cages called chameleons. These chameleons require a lot of humidity. So involved is the reptifogger, which brings in a lot of fog. Also the lighting system, which is very important, your heat source, ultraviolet again, and your calcium. Also what we have here is a spray bottle. The spray bottle is because you have to spray them twice a day. That's how they get their water. They lick the leaves, they lick their bodies, they lick anywhere else where all that water is going to. The vines are very important because they are arboreal. They'll be up the trees all the time. So you got your vines of any style. All right, now for you advanced reptile owners. Next week what we're going to get into is some advanced lizards. This is called a red tegu. These guys are originally from Argentina. And these guys can get a little bit more wild. They're like the pit bull of the lizards. So next week we'll learn about how to take care of these guys and what they eat. All right, Cold-Blooded 101. Today we learned about a few easygoing lizards you can have as a family pet. Johnny and Mary will have a lot of fun with these things. We gave you some material that you need to buy for them to make sure that they live a happy life. Tune in next week. We're going to talk about some more advanced lizards and some other things you need to know about. And yeah, as Elvis would say, thank you very much.